Well, hello again. This is Ed Corbin coming to you from my office in Branson, Missouri. I have been teaching on the topic of marking your children for God. I've given you 3 tips. The first was to intercede for your children. The second was to dedicate your children to God. The third was to grow them up in the presence of the Lord. And now, number 4 is to instruct your children to know and to hear God. We've been looking at the story of Hannah and her baby boy Samuel. Hannah was a barren woman. She made a promise to God that she would give her son back to the Lord all the days of her life if he would allow her to bear a child. And he did. He worked a miracle. And sure enough, Hannah gave little Samuel into the service of the Lord at Shiloh Temple under the direction of Eli the priest. It's quite a long story, lots of details. We've not had time for any of those details. Here comes tip number 4, instruct your children to know and to hear God. The story found in 1 Samuel chapter 3 is incredible, where little Samuel was asleep in the presence of the Lord on his cot next to the Ark of the Covenant, and on 3 separate occasions, he heard the voice of the Lord speak to him, saying, "Samuel, Samuel." And each time he ran to Eli the priest, thinking it was Eli who was calling him, and he asked, Eli, what can I do for you? What do you want? And Eli, on 3 occasions, said, go back to sleep. But then finally, Eli realized what was happening. And he said, no, this time, when you go and you lie down, if you hear the voice again, say, "Here I am, Lord, speak to me." And so that's what Samuel did. And God gave him a download that night. The voice of the Lord had not been known for a very long time. And now God speaks to little Samuel, prophesies, gives him the word of the Lord. Samuel was instructed on how to hear the word of the Lord by Eli the priest, who finally realized this was God. Go lay down. When you hear it, say this, "Here I am, Lord, speak to me." Eli instructed him. It is our job to instruct our children. We put that job off on the church, but it's really not the church's job or responsibility to instruct our children. Deuteronomy tells us it's our job, and we're to instruct our children day and night, throughout all the hours of the day, taking every opportunity to fill our children full of the commands of the Lord. It is our job to instruct our children. Our churches also will come alongside us and help us with that job. They too will instruct our children. And so the tip from Scripture is, if you want to mark your children for God, then what you need to do is instruct your children in the things of God. That means daily Bible reading. That means taking every opportunity to allow your children to view things as God would, helping them to hear and know the voice of the Lord. This is our responsibility. And so if you want to mark your children for God, then you must learn as a parent and as a children's ministry leader how to instruct your children to know and to hear the voice of God.